Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me once again today. As always, my name is GeneralConfusion, and this is Total War Warhammer 2. This is the final game of the group round of the ShadowOnlineGaming Winter Tournament. I am playing against JanetOnOccasion, who is another Total War Warhammer 2 YouTuber. He's been doing Total War Warhammer 2 much longer than I have, and in a much more focused way than I have. For me, it's kind of supplementary to Dominions 5 or the other games I play. For him, it's his main thing, and he's really good. Check out his channel. It's a very good channel. He's a very good broadcaster. He's got a great voice for it. He's got great analysis. And, of course, he's a great player. So, as we're about to see. So, coming into this game, I'm 2 for 2. You know, I'm thinking maybe I can scrape it out. If I can at least win, 3 out of my 5 games, I'll be fine. This is actually Janet's version of the replay, by the way. He uploaded that to the Discord server, and I had forgotten to save the game, so I'm just playing off of his. So, he's playing Chaos. I'm playing Tomb Kings. This is actually a matchup that's funny in 2 ways. First of all, I think I've never played this matchup before. Maybe once. I'm not familiar with it at all. And secondly, for some reason, in this tournament, it's being played 5 times. 4 times or 5 times, I forget which. All the factions were blind picked. Nobody knew what anybody else had picked. So it's sort of hilarious that this particular matchup, Chaos versus Tomb Kings, has cropped up so often. In any case, I'm taking a front line of cheap skeletons. Skeleton spearmen, skeleton warriors, spearmen, 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 warriors, spearmen. Just whoop all the way along. That's the wrong illustration. Behind them, I've got 2 tomb guards with halberds, because I'm thinking, okay, Chaos, they're probably going to bring Shaggoths or Dragon Ogres, something like that. Chaos Giant? Probably not. I've got 2 Ushabti Great Bows, and my idea behind the Ushabti Great Bows was that I could shoot at those big monsters, do some damage before they got in. I've got 1 Necrotect supporting my constructs. That's just a line. I have 1 Necrosphinx, not the Sphinx of Osek. I was thinking, you know what? I think Chaos often brings Lore of Fire these days. They could give themselves fire resistance, which would lower the Sphinx of Osek's damage. So I think I'll just go with the regular Necrosphinx. And I have Archon on the Chariot. There's no particular reason to bring the Chariot in this matchup over a horse, except that it is faster. Yes, Archon's Chariot is actually about 12 points faster than his horse. So he's got the Tomb Blade, which summons a big old unit of Skeleton Warriors. He's got the Staff of Nagash, the Liber Mortis, all of his items here, all of which are fantastic. He's got Doom and Darkness and Spirit Leech, and those are the only spells I'm bringing. Doom and Darkness just to see if I can maybe Terror Bomb the enemy front line. Spirit Leech for Spirit Leeching whatever his lord happens to be. I've got my Will Be Done, I've got the Curse, and I've got Life Leeching, and that's how it is for me. Over on Janet's side, Janet has clearly played this matchup before, I think. And he's got a pretty solid little force. He's got Dragon Ogres, Forsaken munch through Tomb King's infantry like they're not even there. More Forsaken in the middle. 2 Chaos Warriors with halberds to deal with my constructs. Front line of Marauders. He's got 1 unit of Chaos Chariots in the back. Chaos Chariots likewise munch through Tomb King's infantry pretty well. I have bad luck with chariots, but there are some other people who really do well with them, so, 18 bonus versus infantry and a charge bonus of 76. Oof. That's pretty good. And he's brought Archaon, the Ever-Chosen. Archaon, of course, has gotten a lot better lately. Speed 78, so he's very respectable speed. The Slayer of Kings. A Stand or Die. The Burning Head, Flaming Sword of Rune, and Cascading Fire Cloak. So, those are the armies. Starts off kind of slow. Janet is just moving up. Still keeping his flank units kind of sitting back here in reserve. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on my hill, straining my eyes, trying to figure out what I'm up against. I can't really see anything right now. So we're going to push forward. I'm worried about this hill. I'm worried he's going to be able to use this as cover against my Ushabti bows. So I'm kind of maneuvering to the side. I'm thinking if I can get the Ushabti right here, then I'll have good lines of sight. I do have this big blockade right here, which is a little bit of a problem. As we're moving up, we start being able to sort of catch a glimpse of what we're up against. I see these Dragon Ogres over here, and I'm going, okay, Dragon Ogres, that's fine. We're going to pull our halberds over to that side, just to make sure they don't get too crunk on us. And the Ushabti Great Bows are moving up. I see these Dragon Ogres, and I'm thinking maybe I can get a free volley or 2. So the Ushabti Great Bows are going to push forward to take shots. However, the Dragon Ogres see me coming, and they're going to hide behind this big lump of rock, which is going to make it very difficult to shoot them. I think it's very rude, really. We get a few shots in there. We do a little bit of damage, but not much. Not much at all. Still just kind of maneuvering, getting my halberds over to this side because I see most of the enemy army now kind of swinging towards this flank, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'll get the Sphinx over here. Maybe he can deal with the Dragon Ogres, although to be honest, Dragon Ogres are really good at handling other large monsters. These guys are beasts. And their bonus versus large is very high. Come on. 26. So I drop a Spirit Leech on them, just because I can. Do a little bit of damage, whittle them down a little bit. They're what I'm scared of. I'm not terribly scared of the infantry. Marauders, not super scared of. Even Forsaken, they'll get a lot of kills, but I can handle losing a lot of skeletons. I can't necessarily handle having Dragon Ogres come into the back and beat the shit out of all my constructs. So we're pulling back, kind of refusing our flank to make these guys go wider if they want to get around us. We've got our Scorpion in the middle, poised to fight. Really what I should be doing right now is rotating. Yep, there I go. I'm rotating the formation to face it like this, along this line. The Chariot is coming in for a cheeky little charge on my spears, as it sees the halberds coming back. And I think it is going to get in. Meanwhile, the Ushabti are trying to shoot at something. Chariot gets in, does a little bit of damage, couple of kills, but my halberds are going to countercharge, and it's going to take a fair amount of damage, I think, trying to pull out. Meanwhile, we are getting shots now on the Dragon Ogres, and we're doing quite respectable damage. Like, that's respectable. I could wish it was more. Archaon, I see up here, he's charging into this fight. The Chariot actually managed to pull out, taking almost no damage. Very impressive. And now we are collapsing inwards in an effort to kill Archaon. If we can kill Archaon, the game will basically be over. For some reason, my Ushabti are maneuvering a lot instead of firing, and these Dragon Ogres are swinging wide in an effort to go after them, while these Dragon Ogres retreat in the face of my infantry, and they're going to hook around the other side. So, although it may not look it, at this point, I have been thoroughly outmaneuvered already. I've got enemy fast-moving anti-large in my flanks. I've got these fast-moving anti-large hooking around to go after my commander. Archaon is not taking much damage because he's popped the Cascading Fire Cloak, so the Necrosphinx is not hitting him much. And he's just kind of embroiled in a mess of infantry. My infantry, meanwhile, is getting the shit kicked out of it. Yeah, it's not great. It really isn't. The Dragon Ogres are actually swinging into the backs of my halberds. I think what they're doing is they're going after Archon the Black, because if they can catch Archon, then the whole thing's over. Archon the Black sees them coming and is going to turn and flee. And they change their target to come after the Ushabti Greatbows. I'm not sure why I hit them with Doom and Darkness. I was meaning to hit somebody else, probably. The Necrosphinx, meanwhile, is going to swing back in and try and go after the Dragon Ogres. I do still have fire on them from the Ushabti Greatbows. However, the Ushabti Greatbows are a little bit obstructed by the hill. They should have been standing if I wanted them to shoot right here. So, Necrosphinx coming in on the Dragon Ogres, but Archaon comes in behind the Necrosphinx, and now it's going to get sandwiched. So it's got Dragon Ogres chasing Archon, Necrosphinx taking a ton of damage from Archaon and the Dragon Ogres. It's going to deal back some damage, but it is just getting hurt too quickly, and my Ushabti Greatbows are hopelessly compromised at this point. Up here, infantry fight, I'm actually doing fine. Honestly, it's going okay. These Chaos Warriors with halberds are grinding down. Chaos Marauders getting ground down. Over here, however, the Flaming Sword of Rune's dropping. My Necrosphinx is basically already destroyed. Only 2,000 HP left and crumbling, taking more damage from the Dragon Ogres. This trade has not been anything like even. These Dragon Ogres still have 9 models, about a third hit points. These still have 11, and most of their hit points. I'm spawning my Ushabti now to charge into the front to stop the collapse, but it is just too late. Archaon's taken a lot of damage. My Tomb Scorpion is in a very bad place and sort of wiggling around instead of getting proper animations. Archaon is charging the Ushabti Greatbows, and the Greatbows are just shut down at this point. They're not getting value. Meanwhile, Archon is... Where's Archon got to? Archon is over here, getting the absolute crap kicked out of him. He's trying to take on the Chariot, because I'm figuring the Chariot's a relatively safe target, but I have no healing for him. So he's just doing what he can, and what he can is not much, while my Ushabti Greatbows get wrecked. These Ushabti Greatbows are trying to set up to get some damage off, but it's just not happening. Janet is pressuring them too thoroughly from every angle, and it's not fun. However, Archaon is very low, so at this point I'm thinking, okay, if I can just get Archaon, if I can just get him, I'll be in okay shape. My Ushabti Greatbows are trying to fire and not succeeding because they're being too thoroughly compromised. We're rushing back halberds, finally, in order to try and deal with the situation. We've got spears, fighting Chaos Marauders on even ground. And I get a nice Spirit Leech off on Archaon, summon up some Skeleton Warriors to try and block the path. Lovely little burning head there, kind of chews through the tomb garb. Doesn't do too much damage. My Necrotect is still alive, but all my constructs are not, so there's not much purpose to him at this point. Archaon is vulnerable. I go in, and then I see the Dragon Ogres coming, and I go, oh shit. And that is how Arkan the Black got beat up. So, Arkan the Black pulls out. He's going to try to go on another little trip here. I've got Ushabti chasing, infantry chasing. I've actually won parts of the infantry fight, and in other parts I'm hanging on by a thread, but back here, it is just over. Arkan the Black being chased down by the Dragon Ogres. I am fast enough to get away, but, oh, a little bit of lag there, but I'm crumbling. And so that is going to be the end of it. Arkan crumbles, and with that, the balance of power shifts against me so hard that my units disintegrate, except for the summons, because the summons are immune to leadership. For no real reason. I mean, you'd think that they'd be affected by leadership the same as any other undead units would be. That would make sense, right? That they would crumble and disintegrate when the rest of the army does. No, they don't care. They just degenerate at the same rate always, forever, no matter what. So, yeah, those skeleton warriors are gonna fight to the last as if they have a hope and try to take somebody down with them. But I don't think they do. There they go. Well done, lads. So, JanetOnOccasion convincingly wins Game 5 of the series. Yeah, it was, I would say, a thrashing. So, what could I have done about this, and what should I have done about this? What I should have done, first of all, is not bothered to really bring Ushabti Greatbows, or if I did, I should have focused much more heavily on protecting them. Protecting them was of the utmost importance, and I did it very badly, because my infantry line basically got fully engaged. I committed the halberds and couldn't pull them out until very, very much too late. And so they just got chased down and annihilated by these fast-moving Dragon Ogres. What I probably should have done instead... well, actually, to be honest, probably I would have kept... Probably I do want to keep them, but what I should have done is cut the Necrosphinx, gotten some cavalry and some horse archers, some skeleton horse archers, possibly. Just because having that mobility, and that mobility blocking in the form of cheap cavalry, would have enabled me to control the movements of the Dragon Ogres a lot better. It also would have given me a counter to the Forsaken, which I didn't really have. The Forsaken, as you can see, took a lot of damage. They also inflicted a lot of damage, and they chewed through quite a bit of my infantry. So, yeah, the Tomb Guard with halberds I think were a decent choice. The Skeleton front line, of course, decent front choice. But more ranged power would have been the way to handle this, because more ranged power in the form of horse archers or possibly just foot archers would have enabled me to handle the Dragon Ogres a little bit better. The chariot did some damage, but honestly not as much as the infantry, and it costs more. So I probably could have just mostly ignored the chariot. But the Dragon Ogres had to be dealt with, and of course Archaon, if I could have gotten a little bit more missile pressure on him, might have been able to take him down, and if I had taken Archaon down, then the battle would have started looking a lot better, because at the time when Archaon was at his lowest ebb, the Forsaken were gone, the Marauders were fighting but more or less stalemated, the Chaos Warriors with halberds weren't doing much. It was basically Archaon and the Dragon Ogres doing a lot of the work at that point, and they were just absolutely kicking the shit out of my whole back line. So if I could have stopped that combo, I think I might have had a much better shot at this. But in any case, like I said, good game to Janet, and that wraps up the group phase of the tournament. My final record, 2 wins, 3 losses. Haven't exactly covered myself with glory, but I did do... I think I played fairly well, and I certainly learned a lot. So, thanks very much to ShadowOnlineGaming for letting me participate. Thanks to my opponents, Professor Pone, Gojira. I'm literally looking at the list right now because it's been... I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. Professor Pone, Gojira, Loremaster of Sotek, Wyvern, and JanetOnOccasion. Thanks for playing. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun, and I hope I'll see you around again sometime. So, that's been, I think, the tournament for me. I very much doubt that with 2 wins and 3 losses, I'll be going to the semifinals. I don't think that's mathematically possible. But in any case, like I said, it was a great time. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.